Welcome to Grandpa Hill's True Stories. I'm sitting here with Sister Margaret of Island, Pennsylvania, and her two nephews and niece. They're my grandchildren. They're 3 grandchildren out of 25. 3 out of 25 grandchildren.
I thought it was 24.
I know, but you don't count the ones that aren't born, and I do.
Oh yeah, Aunt Rachel's.
So this is a true story, just like all the stories that I tell are true, which means they're as true as I can remember. Does that make sense? The title of this story is Outsmarting a Rat in Salzburg, Pennsylvania.
Squirrels are really smart.
So it was in 1991. We lived, Grandma and Grandpa, Don and Mary, with 5 of our children. We had 5 children at the time. And we lived along Tunnelton Road, which connected Tunnelton, Pennsylvania, with Clarksburg, Pennsylvania. It was a rural setting. We had seen bears, and we had some ducks, and we were raising rabbits for meat. Rabbits were the preferred meat for Patricia, your aunt.
Yeah. So
I was working at Alcoa developing a casting process for ductile, strong, weldable aluminum die castings. These castings would eventually be on the Ford trucks, the Chrysler Prowler, and on the Audi A8 for their AIV frame. So I was a scientist and development engineer by day and a farmer and country guy and homeschooling dad at night and on the weekends.
Wait, so you were... Wait.
Yeah, go
So
ahead.
you homeschooled people when you're supposed to be sleeping?
No. No. Grandma did a lot of homeschooling too, but I'm just saying that I had a couple different roles to play. So our ducks and rabbits were fed well from the grain and feed store in New Alexandria, Pennsylvania. And the rodents in the area were fed well too. That's right. Mice or rats would burrow their way in, around, and through our metal storage shed and eat the rabbit food, eat the corn. They'd eat everything.
That's not nice.
I'd set mouse traps, and in the morning, there were no mice, and there were no traps.
Where did the traps go?
I had no idea. I said it must be rats, or coons, or some other rodent like a squirrel.
Yeah.
No time to figure that out. I must outsmart these critters.
Whatever they are.
Right. I thought it was a rat. So I couldn't stand for them eating up so much food. They'd eat pounds of it in a night.
Oh.
I figured there must be 1,000 of them. I didn't know. Again, I was not used to living with the rats. So I had to be clever and buy some bigger traps too. Mm-hmm. I didn't know if I should buy those steel jaw traps or what I should do. I didn't know what I was dealing with. So I decided to keep the grain in the back of the family car, which was our old brown Chevy station wagon.
So you're experimenting?
No, I'm making it so they cannot eat the grain. It was an old car, and the grain would give the cars a nice, fresh, sweet corn smell. I just put the corn in there, not the rabbit feed. Mm-hmm. And it would be dry and safe from whatever was eating my grain. All was well, except for that my children began to mistreat the car.
Why?
I don't know. I think it's because I was treating it like a grain bin. They started treating it like it was a place to play. So that I used to get upset with the kids for picking at the back seats. You know, as they start to wear and they get the opening, they go they pick things up and they make little balls and throw them at each other and stuff like that. So I didn't like them tearing up the seats. And my guess was they thought of the car more as a shed and not as much as a family car.
Yeah,
because I was starting the grain. So my little children just loved to pick at the cushions, making little balls. And I forbade the activity, but it wouldn't stop. So my move to put the grain in the car did outsmart the rats. As the fall was coming and the nights were crisp, the rat or rats would just have to go hungry. And then it happened. There was a mystery rat.
Were you sure it's a rat?
Oh, I was sure about the mystery rat. I would pull up into my driveway, which was really short, just off the road. Usually it would just be about getting dark because it's fall. As I pulled off of Tunnelton Road into the drive, there, right on the side porch, was a big rat. As big as a squirrel, as fast as a squirrel, but much fatter than a squirrel.
So it wasn't a squirrel?
No, it was a rat. It was as though the rat was ticked off and mad at me and being disturbed because he couldn't get my food anymore. He would be there on the front edge of the porch or on the first step. He would get a look at me and then run off into the dark in the direction of the back of the house where the corn used to be. And perhaps, I reasoned, his family might still be. I fooled him there. No corn down there. Maybe he thought it was his place unless I was home. And then he would run and hide, like he belonged. It was his house. Then I saw him again several times that week. What a stupid rat. I got used to the rat. I would try to pull off with my lights off. And then I'd turn around and pull into the drive, pop him on, surprise him. There he was. And he'd run off. Meanwhile, I knew that I might not always be able to keep the corn from him because my car was falling apart. And I'd have to get a new car. The air conditioner had quit. The frame was rusting. I sure hoped the car storage would outlast the rat. I pulled up that night. This was the third night in a row the rat was not there. And I knew I was going to win with that rat. Maybe he had moved on and I was truly the victor. By now the rat was known to the entire family.
He was?
Yeah, I went in and told of my possible victory over the rat. As I was getting my stuff put away, I realized I had forgotten my thermos. By now it was around 8 o'clock. I went out to the car with my flashlight, the interior lights no longer working, my thermos. I opened the car door, leaned over the floor on the passenger side to grab my thermos, and heard some rustling and saw a flick of movement. There he was, Mr. Rat, nervously crouched under the brake pedal of the family car, about 2 feet from my belly.
Ooh.
I don't like rats that much.
Yeah.
Especially smart rats. I quickly retracted from where I was and went in the house, shutting the rat in the car, or at least closing the door. Then it all started to make sense. The rat had outsmarted me.
Went to the car.
The mystery rat on the porch.
Wow.
I would only see when I came home. The car seats being pulled apart in the back seat. The stuffing and dust and dirt ending up in my air conditioning and heating vents, and even some loose corn in the back of the station wagon. All of it was from the rat. The rat had been winning all along, wrecking my car, destroying the seats, sleeping in my car.
Wow, he's a mean rat.
No, he's smart. I reasoned the nights I would see him on the porch. Well, he was probably waiting to leave my car and head over by the porch and then down the hill to his other home where perhaps his family lived. My car was Mr. Rat's refuge, his mobile home. And my disobedient children tearing apart the seats, well, they needed my apology, and I needed their forgiveness.
Yeah, because the rat was doing
as I had scolded them more than once for ripping at the seats, which was actually being done by the rat.
Too smart of a rat.
As it happened, the day before this happened, I had stopped at the Salzburg Supply in Salzburg, Pennsylvania, and had bought the largest rat trap they had. It was pretty big, like that.
Wow.
Had a big bar on it and everything. One of the traditional traps where the bar slaps over on it. As it so after my discovery of Mr. Rat at the brake pedal, the trap was loaded with peanut butter and a raisin. The trap was put right there in front of the brake pedal so that the bar would have enough room to slap him down. Otherwise, it just hit the pedal. Until I knew a better place, this is the way the car would be each night. A strong big trap right there where my feet would be when I got in to start the car.
That's scary.
Yes, it was scary, actually, when I first found it. In the morning, I went out to check my trap. There was King Rat in the trap, quite fat and quite dead. Dead.
Nice.
I kept setting the trap for several nights, and even during the day while at work. And never since did I succeed at what I did that night. I had trapped a very smart and destructive rat in my own car along Tunnelton Road in Salzburg, Pennsylvania. Since then, I have not met a man that was smart enough to trap a rat in his own car.
Yeah.
Nor have I met anyone foolish enough to store his grain in his car and so overly kind as to feed a rat and drive a rat all around the countryside. When I would come home and see the rat on the porch, well, he was just making a quick exit from his mobile home back to his family. Smartest rat ever. And I was learning the ways of living in the country with deer, bears, and rats. Oh my. Someone's clapping. That's good. It's good.